This student says, I followed your videos and content in the first attempt of CELPIP. I got 11, basically all 11s. Cheers. The student was very happy, and I'm happy for the student too. Great job. And again, you'll find all of this content right here on YouTube, as well as our updated and most detailed content in the course in the description. Check that out. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something that nobody talks about, and it's highly important. People keep losing marks over this time and time again, and we just ignore it. And I'm guilty because I've been ignoring it too. It's something that's swept under the rug, but it's important to discuss, and that is the 4 tones of CELPIP speaking that you need to utilize among the 8 questions. Here's what I mean. I'm going to show this to you with practical examples with some sample answers and tell you what tones I'm talking about. So I'm going to use this example here of our task 1. This is from our exam simulator, which has the timer and the whole exam interface. You can check that out again in our course. It is included among 25 mock tests. Okay, this question, the first one, is about giving advice. It is 99% of the times informal. So here also, it is informal. It says your friend is feeling overwhelmed by their hectic schedule. They're juggling professional responsibilities, commitments, and whatever. Suggest practical tips, strategies, or resources they can use to reduce the stress and stay organized. Fine. This is the sample answer that you need to do. Really good answer, free of mistakes. And in terms of tone, that's what we're going to talk about today. This is perfect. You have a very informal tone here, and you really need that. A lot of you try to be too respectful to friends in CELPIP speaking. You're not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to be natural, the way you would actually talk to your friend. So here you start with, hi Hector, how's it going? So again, let me not pretend. I'm going to start my CELPIP speaking in this way. Hi Hector, how's it going? Honestly, I know exactly how you feel, because I've been through the same stage where everything piles up at once, and it feels like there aren't enough hours in the day. The first thing I'd suggest is the tone. It's natural, it's human. It's like you can relate to this person. How's it going? That greeting there is important, and you need to emphasize that. Don't be robotic and just say, hi Hector, how's it going? Also, don't do this. Hi Hector, how's it going? Honestly, I know a lot of you do this too. Pause after the greeting, just like you would in normal life, before you actually get to the point. And when you get to the point, you build it slowly. Honestly, I know how you feel about this, so we touch on the issue slightly. Then you get into the points. The first thing you do, another thing you do, I'd also recommend this. Very casual day-to-day words, and again, the tone is informal. See how we finish this up? Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon. That's it. Take care. Have a nice day. You can use all those things, but make sure the greetings like these are natural, informal, and your voice fluctuation and variation is natural and informal. It is important to be informal in informal topics. You cannot be robotic, you cannot be super professional, and you should not use super advanced words here. Talk to this friend like you would in a real life situation with a friend. But what about this picture? Things like this, which is part 3, describe what you can see happening in the picture. This is a descriptive question because you're not talking to anyone here. Similarly, the question after this, part 4, is a descriptive question too, because you will just define what happens next in the picture. Part 2 is a descriptive question too, when it talks about a possession, a vacation, a favorite time, food, etc. With these descriptive questions, you can relax. You're allowed to be just a little robotic, but not too much. You still have to fluctuate your volume, but I'll tell you where exactly. So you can see with these kinds of questions, the greeting goes out of the picture, so no need to greet at the start or at the end. We start directly with the task at hand, describing the picture. This picture shows a lively evening market filled with people enjoying themselves under strings of glowing lights. Stalls on both sides are overflowing with colorful fruits and vegetables, and vendors are actively engaging with cheerful customers. Don't know if you caught this or not. The places where I'm varying my voice is with adjectives and verbs. That's where you emphasize things. For example, cheerful customers. You want to raise your volume here. They are engaging with, you can, again, it depends on the word. I'm not going to say, you have to slow down here or say it loudly. Depends on the tone, what you're trying to explain. For example, here I'm going to say they're really engaging with, so that's going to be my tone. But what if it's something negative, like they're being rude to this person? So I would then say, they're being really rude to this person, like as if I'm complaining. So my verb comes out in that manner. So verbs, depending on what they are, and stuff like it's overflowing, that's kind of a little descriptive tone. Those things, it would depend on what the action is, and you would fluctuate your volume accordingly. But definitely with adjectives, you would always raise your volume whenever you define their qualities. Similarly, when you change the tone, you go to another sentence or another point, always pause a little, and then when you start the next thing, raise your volume again. Let me show you. So, they're engaging with cheerful customers. In the center, a man is playing. So pause, and then you start with a high volume, and it's like a new thing you're saying. Okay, let's do the next paragraph too. I want to show this to you. While children are dancing and laughing near him. Furthermore, a small dog also appears. So you see the pause before the furthermore, and then after furthermore, there's a little pause too. Very natural. It shows the progression from one point to another. It's also an advanced connector, so that's a vocab mark as well. And it's very natural. And that also, by the way, gives you time to breathe and think in the exam. Breathing calms down your nervousness, really helps finish the rest of the question. And that slight 1 second pause also helps you think about the next thing you have to say. So pausing again in this is good for your tone, good for task response, and everything else. All right, let's talk about the third tone we have, and this is with the comparison question. This also applies to question number 6 that comes right after this. In both questions 5 and 6, you are convincing someone about something. So here I'm convincing this first person, my friend, that the mountain cabin is better than the city tour. That's going to be my topic. Now, I need to really emphasize where I want this person to listen to me. And those points are going to be, hey, my thing is great. It has this, this, but your thing has this. It's not that valuable. Mine has this, and it is amazing. So I got a sample answer to show you what I mean. But remember that tone of being convincing and using those emotional cues is the persuasive tone you need for this question and the next question that will come after, which is where you convince someone again about a difficult situation. Well, for this purpose, the question number 5, comparison and persuasion, here's how I would do this. Jerry, and again, you don't need to say how are you. You can start with the direct answer. It's not necessary to do a greeting. It's optional. Jerry, I know you're not going to like what I'm going to say, but I honestly think the mountain cabin is a much better choice than a city break. Mainly, the cabin offers scenic hiking trails, fresh air, and a cooler climate. So we're basically using the points that are in the picture. But we also always have to give our benefit. The benefit is, which will refresh both our minds and bodies. The environment is peaceful and secluded, making it the perfect escape from our usual busy routines. Even though it has limited internet, that actually works in our favor because it allows us to truly disconnect and enjoy the natural surroundings without constant distractions. On the other hand, I understand your side too. The city may seem exciting with cultural experiences, dining, and shopping, but it also comes with crowded streets. And there you go. Now you start being negative. So you see the transition of you being so positive. We got this. But yours is also good. You're being sympathetic. You're showing that change of tone. Yours is also good. But then it has these problems, and now your tone is going to be negative, kind of depressing, because you're trying to downplay whatever the other option is. So the tone changes. You finish up with, let me know what you think. And if you can add anything else, like have a great day, talk to you soon, feel free to do so. Just this question goes really fast in 60 seconds, so a short finish is ideal. Okay, so be persuasive here. Now our final question type, in terms of the tone, like you have another question after this, which is descriptive, but the second last question, question number 7, in terms of the tone, it's supposed to have another tone, and that's our fourth tone today, and that is the passionate, debate-like tone, because this question is always a debate question. So here it says, your close friend is considering a stable, well-paying job, so leaving this job, and basically the question says they want to go for an unpredictable but more fulfilling freelance opportunity right here. So you have to pick one option and explain why it's better. Now, when we get these types of questions in question 7, you have to be very passionate. You have to really debate your option and show why this is clearly the better choice. So we want to start with words like, I strongly believe one should not immediately quit their stable, well-paying job for a freelance film opportunity. I'll present 3 clear reasons to back this up. Mainly, financial security matters more than passion when there's no guarantee of income. A steady paycheck pays your bills, supports your lifestyle, and gives you peace of mind. The film industry, as we all know, is notorious for unpredictable contracts, long gaps between projects, and no benefits. Why risk stability for uncertainty? Moreover, and there you go. So here it's like those debates that you see online, you got to bring in those elements as much as you possibly can. When you talk about your opinion, you strongly believe in it. This is really important. Emphasis. When you mention the benefits, you're confidently mentioning this is how it will benefit, this is what it will do. You don't have to be exaggerated with the points, like the adjectives don't need to come out loud. You just need to sound confident and in a way that shows that you really believe in it. And then whenever you criticize the other thing, you have to sound like a Karen, okay? Because as you saw what I did here, why risk stability for uncertainty? It's like you're criticizing the other choice, and that is needed because you want to show your contempt or dislike for the other side while passionately talking about your side. And that's the fourth and last tone in CELPIP speaking, and these are the 4 tones you need to incorporate depending on the question. I hope this video helped you in understanding that, because it is an important rule that a lot of people ignore. Keep practicing, keep recording yourself and listening to yourself, and you will see if you're doing this correctly or not. I would really appreciate if you liked, subscribed, and shared this video with your friends who might be struggling in CELPIP or speaking or anything related to CELPIP. Our channel is here to help. Thank you very much. Take care.